Hey beautifuls, happy Sunday. I wanted to come and make this video about shutting down the breeding factories. um, as I said, this channel, I said it a couple times, but when I come with this kind of content, which is kind of remedial or kind of remedial for divested women, right? Um, I want to remind you that this is not just a divested channel, um, because I don't mind doing the work of getting black women over the hump. I don't mind doing the work of reminding black women who they are, and reminding them of their value and reminding them of their divinity, and hoping that um, they they stand in it, and guiding them and leading them to stand in it. So everyone is here is not divested, because some black women honestly didn't even know that it was an option for them to divest. So when they do decide to divest, I want to make it as easy as possible for them to do so. And one of the ways is to close down the breeding factories, right? To stop having babies by black males. Stop having babies, at least. Let's start there, right? And I made a blog that you guys can go and check out. It's called I think it was titled "Having a Baby in Pakistan is a Death Sentence." I'll do the commentary on that soon. But for right now, I just wanted to talk to my sisters who are still in Pakistan, who are still dealing with those degenerates, and tell you at the very least not to have the babies. Like, make sure that you guys are on birth control, and regardless of what the incentives are for getting pregnant, right? It's all smoke and mirrors. It's all it's false security. The rug will be pulled from under you very, very soon if you are having babies in the hopes that the larger society is going to take care of them. That is definitely coming to an end. And getting out of poverty and getting out of Blackistan, fleeing Blackistan, and deciding on a better life and trying to build one for yourself becomes more and more hard with every baby. And I think at a certain point, those babies will make it impossible for you to make it out. So you, assuming that you may have children now, and to my sisters here who are young and don't have any children, listen, let me tell you something. Having children does not make you a woman. You have nothing to prove in becoming a mother to children that you can't take care of, that you are not in a financial, mental, and spiritual place to be able to take care of. And it's unfair to you, and it's unfair to the children to begin to make children to prove that you are a woman to Blackistan. So don't do it. If you're child free, stay that way. I have seen women end up pregnant, and it's for one, I don't think that it is logical or a smart move for any woman at all, for any black woman, regardless of her place in society, whether she be in Blackistan, whether she be divested and a woman on her own, whether she be married and happy to a non-black male, to get pregnant. Society right now is not very mother friendly. The world right now is not very supportive of women in general, and especially mothers. So I don't think that having a baby right now, and it's a fucking panorama. Like, why are people getting pregnant in this time? Like, it's just not smart. We don't know what's gonna happen next, and to get pregnant at this time for any woman is just illogical. And I don't get it. I know Rihanna looks very, very good, but Rihanna is living a life that most of us don't live and will never live. And we're talking about a woman who's a billionaire. And you think that Rihanna looks cute because she's pregnant by an ape, and it doesn't really matter because she's a billionaire, so it's not like she's gonna suffer from the things that the average African American woman suffers from when she gets pregnant. But your life is unlike hers. Your life is unlike hers, and it's just illogical to get pregnant right now. Like, now is just not the time. Another thing I wanted to say, which I've already said before, and I want to really redirect divested women to divested content creators. And the divested content creators that I have directed you guys to, if you want totally divested content, because if you're totally divested, sometimes you get to a point where you don't really feel like talking to women who are, or dealing with, or even hearing the content for women who are not divested. And I completely understand that. And if you are one of those women and you don't want to necessarily hear content leading Black women to being sovereign in general, which I believe being divested is if you want to be with a man, which most Black women do like men. If you want to be with a man, then of course it will lead you to dating non-Black men, and that's a major aspect to divestment. But I do wish that divestment points can really be focused on Black women really just doing what's best for themselves, and that's really what divestment is. But because of the males, because of the males, we end up focusing so much on who's dating who, right? And we end up being harsher to women who decide who are divesting and have not stopped dating Black men. Like, and common sense is really, that should be the first step. Like, get the fuck away from the niggas, because they are killing us every 5.5 hours. But some women are really, really male identified. It takes some time for them to get out of that, and I am willing to be patient with those women. And if you are not, and you wanted to listen to more strictly divested content, you can head on over to Miss Archduchess YouTube channel. Her content is strictly divested content. And Divested Zealot, their content is strictly for divested women. And I subscribe to both of those ladies, and I am in both of their discords, and I am a patron of both of those ladies. But my content is a little bit more open to Black women in general. So anyway, I said all that to get into the content of today, and that is breeding factories. They gotta come to an end, ladies. It's several things happening right now in the United States of America that is making Black women very, very vulnerable. So we have this economic shift that is happening, this transference of wealth that is happening, and it's putting Black women in a very, very, very vulnerable state, which is why divesting right now, like today, is so important for Black women. Getting out of Blackistan right now today is so important for Black women, because when this transference of wealth happens, you do not want to be stuck in Blackistan with Black males because it's going to be very, very dangerous. And in order for you to get out of Blackistan, really, you have to pack light. You have to travel very lightly. You have to be willing to go quick and in a hurry. And you cannot do that with a bunch of children. With a bunch of children holding on to your legs and your arms and on top of your head and shit, you trying to pack up and get the fuck out of here. It's kind of like, the house on fire and you're trying to get out and you got a bunch of babies with you. You understand what I'm saying? You wanna be able to move with as little baggage as possible. And getting pregnant and keep on having these babies is not gonna be it. One of my subscribers, she sent me a article about in New York. New York is paying new poverty-stricken moms, $1,000 a month, and to aid for them having babies. Now, when I read the article, I noticed that it was for first-time moms, and it was for new moms and women who are pregnant, right? So now it sounds like it's kind of like an incentive to have children. Like, if I get pregnant, I can get some help if I'm a poor black woman. Like, I get a little extra money if I'm a poor black woman, and I get some extra money for having a baby. And that shit, it's just very, very foul. It's just leading black women into a trap that we're not going to be able to get out of. You have that going on, and then you also have, of course, all of these, when all of the coronavirus issues were happening heavy, and you had all the money flowing into Blackistan, it was really flowing into moms. It was really flowing into women who had children, and then the women who did not have children were kind of like assed out and like, damn, all them abortions out here, I should have kept the damn baby. At least I could have got some help. And it's a very, very, very dangerous thought. But it's a very, very, very desperate thought for poor black women. For you to say that you are going to give money to women who have babies, who are pregnant, for a very desperate, poor, and poverty-stricken woman who is completely detached from what's going on in the world, these women may go out and get pregnant to get these incentives. These women may literally go out and think that it's a good idea to get pregnant, to have babies, and to be able to get just to get a check. This is age old shit in Blackistan. Black women having babies for governmental assistance. And as quiet as it's happening, as much as we don't want to admit it, right? As much as we don't want to say that it's happening, that shit happens. So when the government starts to give out incentives to have babies, they are also stopping and putting a stop to female rights, and especially when it comes to being able to end pregnancies, right? Then it makes me wonder. It begins to make me wonder, like, what the fuck is going on? When the world is changing, the economics of the world is changing. Like, we really don't know what's happening next. We can all, speculate. I have been hearing things about a permanent underclass for now the last, 15 years. I've been hearing about a permanent underclass, happening. Well, goddamn, it's here, right? It's here. If you are living in these, poverty-stricken, very, very poor places in your cities and in the inner cities, you are being made to be the permanent underclass. And then they are giving you incentives to have babies to make sure that you stay there. This is very, very dangerous shit for black women. And us divested women in our thought of being divested and being completely detached from Blackistan, and we phase out, and most black women, they leave Blackistan, they never look back. For those of us who do have a care and a concern for the black woman collective, right, in its entirety, and that's how I am. I care about the black woman collective in its entirety. Although I am free of being connected to black males and black toxic culture, I still have an affinity for black women. I still have a love for black women. And when I see things like these handouts and these payouts for black women to have babies and to keep on having children, especially when we're talking about new moms or pregnant women, like, you're really targeting black women who have never had children, and you're kind of throwing cash at them to have children. I'm seeing it for what it is, and what it is a fucking death trap. It's a fucking death trap. And then the black males, they get online and they literally are saying that black women are used for nothing else other than breeding. You can go and look up these niggas left and right, and what they're really saying is that black women are only here for breeding. And then the government is paying black women to have children. And I'm just looking like, damn, these women are going to get caught up. But if one of them is cycling through my channel and happen to hear this message to you, do not do it, sis. Do not breed for these males. They are not going to value you. They are not going to stick around, and whatever is being offered for you to have babies is never going to be enough, and they're going to pull the rug from underneath of you. When black women are having babies and they are in Section 8 housing, and then Section 8 is Section 8. Look, I gotta remember how the housing assistances work. So Section 8 is when you have a voucher that you can take to a landlord, give the landlord, and then it pays your rent. Well, the landlord has decided not to. Now, the United States of America can say they're gonna give you Section 8. Now, do you think that Section 8 is federally funded, right? So you can take your Section 8 voucher anywhere you like. But now the landlords are deciding they don't want to take your Section 8 vouchers. They are of no use. See, this is what I mean when I say they're pulling the rug from underneath of you. This is what I'm saying when I say they pulling the rug from underneath of you. So you have these Section 8 vouchers, and you want to go and rent somewhere. You got all these fucking babies. You don't really know how to keep a house. You don't really know how to keep, because you're not paying for the shit, right? As people say, if you're not paying for it, then you don't really give a fuck about it. Everybody knows that, and they're deciding they're not going to take your Section 8 vouchers because you're not going to keep the shit up. And I'm not saying this is the case for all black women who are on Section 8, like they all just get into these homes and they just all tear them up. But what I'm saying is that it's a thing, right? It's a stigma that's attached to it, and as a result, black women are not being able to get housing. And I don't find it funny. To be honest, I don't find it funny. I don't find joy in black women's dismay. I honestly don't. So my message today is for those women who have one child or two children or even three, and stop now. Don't have any more children. If you only have one, don't have any more children. If you have none, sis, you are lucky. You are extremely blessed to not have children. Regardless of what they told you about children being a blessing, it's a fucking lie. It is a fucking lie. You're blessed not to have children. In the here and now, today, if you don't have children as a black woman, you are in a better position. You are in a better position to be able to move around freely, to be able to not be stigmatized with the things that black women are stigmatized with, especially moving into different communities. Especially when you're trying to flee Blackistan. When you're fleeing Blackistan as one black woman with no goddamn rugrats chasing down behind her, right? You're in a better position. You're in a better position to get the things that you need to move around as you please. If you have one child, you're in a better position than a woman who has 2 children. If you have 2 children, you're in a better position than a woman that has 3 children. Stop having these fucking babies. Stop having these fucking babies. And I know that this is a message that I have said plenty of times, but I am literally directing this message right now to poor black women, to black women who are in Blackistan, who think that having another baby so that you can get more out of the government or you can get more assistance is a good idea. It's a fucking horrible idea. It's a fucking horrible idea. And I know that you guys trip among my trip into my YouTube channel. I know that you guys trip into divested spaces, and you feel very, very shunned, like you're not good enough to be there. But I'm telling you, the more children that you have, the less likely it is going to be for you. It's going to be for you to flee, to get out of Blackistan. The harder it's going to be for you to truly, when you decide to get off that fence, right? Because your ass, if you're here and you're over in divested zealot shit, and you're over in Miss Archduchess shit, and you're here and you're in Karen shit, and you're over in divested spaces, even if you're listening to fucking Cynthia G, your ass is sitting on the fucking fence, right? If you're a black woman sitting in Blackistan and you still dealing with apes, and you listening to these kind of channels, your ass is still sitting on the fence. And when you do decide to hop your ass over, you want to be able to hop over with as little children as possible. As little children as possible. And no, I'm not saying to go and end pregnancies. I'm saying to not get pregnant. To not get pregnant. You are in control of your womb. That's when black women are in an uproar and screaming and hollering about abortion rights and shit, like, that's the first thing that crossed my mind. Black women are in control of their wombs. If we're talking about getting pregnant and R word, right? If you get pregnant in an R word, or then that's different. But I'm talking about black women who are consciously getting pregnant and then they want to use abortions as a means for birth control. You don't have to do that. You can just decide not to get pregnant. I mean, you're tearing your fucking body up. And not only that, let's just say you're a young woman. Let's say you're in your teens, right? You're in your late teens, 19, 20, 21. You know, you're in your early 20s, and you're tearing your body up with abortions. Tearing your body up with abortions. Well, the gag is the most valuable thing that you can give a man is your womb, right? So you decide to tear your womb up, getting abortions for fucking Tyrones. Then you decide, all right, I done had enough. You know, I'm gonna hop on over this fence now, and I'm gonna decide to start dating non-black men. Guess what? Since non-black men don't have children, they are out here fucking pumping and dumping. You know, they are being very, very. The men that you're going to want to date once you do hop over the fence and you've done the work necessary to truly divest and to truly change your life and to truly, you know, start living in your divinity. The men that you want to date, they were not irresponsible and making babies. They just weren't. So they don't have children. Now they want children. And here you are, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38. Right? And now you're starting to rethink having children. Because now you can safely have children. 5 years from now, you're in a place where you can safely have children, and you done fucked your womb up, getting all of Tyrone's babies scraped out. In your 20s and 21 and 22 and 23 years old, you are getting all of Tyrone's babies scraped out, listening to other YouTubers who told you it was okay to fence it, get pregnant, and then get an abortion, and now your womb is failing. And now your womb is failing. And you may have no children. But getting all of Tyrone's babies scraped out has caused you a fucking horror down there. A fucking horror as far as your womb is concerned. So, as a black woman who is willing to talk to fence sitters, who is, as a divested black woman content creator on YouTube, who is willing to talk to fence sitters, who are willing to talk to stragglers, who is willing to offer advices to black women who are not choosing to date out right now, or who are still on the fence about it, still undecided, who's still scared of white supremacy. What I'm telling you, and listen to the word of mother, is to not get pregnant. Do not get pregnant. You need to go and get birth control. You need to be very responsible with your womb. If you are too weak, and let's call it what it is. Miss Archduchess said a woman who is weak about her pussy is a weak woman overall. And if you cannot decide to sit alone and to figure out, if you sitting on the fence, right? If you cannot decide if you're too fucking weak to decide, all right, well, at least let me stop fucking. At least let me stop fucking and figure this shit out. Do I want to die in Blackistan, or do I want to divest and live a better life? It can take you years to figure it out. In the meantime, you can really not fuck. If you can really decide that, I'm still over here in Blackistan. I still have a love for black culture. I can't let it go yet. I know that the apes ain't shit. Or I know that black males ain't shit. And I'm not gonna fuck them. Okay? How about that? You can really decide that you're not gonna fuck them and not fuck them. That's a wonderful discipline to have, to be able to control your sexual wants, to be able to control your sexual wants is a discipline that is beautiful, and one that black women need to master. We need to be able to master being celibate for a while, to sit down and think about some shit. And if you're over here and you're fence sitting and you don't know what you want to do next, and you don't really know if you really want to divest, do you still want to be around in Blackistan? Do you want to try to live better? The least that you can do is, in this time, is be celibate. But if you can't, right? But if you cannot, you should definitely not be having babies. You should definitely be not having babies. That shit is crazy. To get pregnant at this time as a black woman, as any woman really, but I really only care about black women over here, to be honest. But to get pregnant at this time is just fucking crazy. And I don't give a fuck how good Shanika down the street is making it look with all her fucking stimulus checks, her fucking extra $1,000 in her pocket. Georgia giving women $800. I don't know if it was just black women or single moms. They giving black women that got children $800. All the fucking child taxes and write-offs and shit that everybody else is getting, and you're looking at that shit and you like, all I gotta do is have a baby. That is the stupidest shit you can think. That is the stupidest thought that has came to your mind, baby sis. Do not do it. Do not do it. And I'm just talking about black women who are sitting on the fence, who are deciding to divest, who are trying to make a decision to live in her divinity, right? Who want to be crowning black women, who want to be glorious, knowledgeable, beautiful, older black women. The only way that you get that way, to be a true crone, a glorious older black woman, is to divest. The only way that you get to be that way is to decide that Blackistani culture ain't it. Blackistani culture ain't it. And a part of Blackistani culture is baby mama culture. That belongs to us. I know that, black women, when you are fighting the ills of white supremacy, and you're trying to prove your worth as a woman, as a black woman, you hate to hear that baby mama culture is something that belongs to us, but it is. Baby mama culture belongs to black American women. That's our shit. As I said in a couple of videos in the past, I'm willing to take all of the glory, but if I want to take all of the glory, I must take all of the failures as well. Well, here it is. Baby mama culture belongs to us. That's a black American woman thing. That's some shit that we fucking glorified. Some shit that we fucking thought was a good idea and put that shit out on the world stage. And some shit that we have told black males is okay and is cool. That shit cool. But it ain't. But if I'm going to take all the glory, I'm going to take all the blame, I am going to say that that's a black American woman thing. And that is something that needs to be buried deep. Okay? That's something that we definitely need to leave behind. So you want to, if you're considering divesting, if you're thinking about it, if you are a listener to my channel and you want to be a divine black woman, you want to be a crowning black woman, you want to be a sovereign black woman, listen, pack light. Okay? A woman don't have, listen, when it's time to go, a woman don't have a whole bunch of time to grab a lot of shit. Now look, if it's time for you to go and you a single woman, it's time to get the fuck out of there, you grab you a fucking overnight bag and you run. Okay? If you got one child, that child 5 years old, you grab that child by the hand and y'all run. You put that baby up on your hip and you run. But you got a 5-year-old, you got a 2-year-old, you gotta go and get diapers, pull-ups, milk, fucking food for you and two fucking babies. It's gonna be harder to run, sis. It's gonna be harder to run, and I'm telling you, black women are soon gonna have to hit the ground running. You hear me? And the more fucking babies you have tagging along, the more harder it will be until it's damn near impossible. And I'm going to say that once you at baby three, about baby three, sis, you're not going to be able to make it. You're not going to be able to make it. And that's a stretch. For those women who have 2 babies and 3 babies, you're going to have to be very, very determined to make it out of poverty, to make it out of Blackistan, and to really thrive. It's going to be very, very hard. You have to work very, very hard. I had to work very, very hard with one child. I had to not fall in that trap of getting pregnant again. That was something I knew I could. That was something I knew I could not do. I knew I couldn't. The first reason, because as you guys know, I really mothered. I really mothered every step of the way. I thought about my baby every step of the way, and I really thought the little bit that we had, sometimes it was a carry out down the street. You living in Blackistan, you ain't got no good food, but it was a carry out down the street. We could get fucking 3 chicken wings and fries. I'll never forget. And I tell my daughter this to this day. And and she was maybe about I'm trying to remember like where we was living at this time, so I can kind of remember how old she was. She may have been about 6 or 7, and we could get fucking 3 chicken wings and fries for like $5 or $6. And I used to go and buy 3 chicken wings and French fries for $5 or $6. That was all the fuck I had, and I would give her 1.5 wing, and I would have 1.5 wing, and we would split the fries. Now, that was all the fuck we had. Imagine if I had another fucking baby. Imagine if I had another fucking baby. I always thought, like, if I had another fucking baby, whatever I had for my daughter, that baby would be taken away from her. That baby made less of the little bit that we had, made with the little bit that we had even less for her. And I always kept that at the forefront of my mind when I raised my child. So if you got one child right now, if for no other reason, it's very, very selfish for you to have another baby. It's very, very selfish for that baby that you have, for you to have another baby and make what little you have for that baby less by having another baby. And if you got 2 fucking babies and you add a third one, because if you got 2 fucking babies, now we all are getting 1 wing. We just now went from 1.5 wings to 1 wing, a fucking piece, and French fries. Now you add another fucking baby to that, somebody's gonna go to sleep fucking hungry. And this is the truth of living in Blackistan. And this is the truth of living in Blackistan. When I come on YouTube, I'm coming from a totally different perspective, and it's why I decided to start making YouTube videos, because for one, I knew I was going to be transparent, right? And I knew that I was a divested woman of a different walk of life than most divested black women. And not that, especially Miss Archduchess. She's Miss Archduchess. She's a jack of all trades. She's a comedian. She definitely is full of the voice of mother, but she's also a songstress, and she gets to singing over there. And when she gets to singing over there, she sings. The last live I listened to, she was talking about all the women that her channel was for, and she went on to say, poor black women, women who got money, women who educated, women who not educated. Now, mind you, she's singing her shit, but what she was basically saying was that her space was for everybody. But what I'm offering is a level of transparency that I've not seen here. And if these women are being transparent, they have not lived the life that I live. You know what I'm saying? Like, they have not come from the place that I came from, so their living experiences is different. I told you guys that I really, really got out of poverty with my daughter on my fucking hip the whole way through, scratching, clawing, trying to get my ass out of poverty with a baby on my hip. And we did not get out of it until she was in late middle school. 8th grade is when I really began to have it, when we stopped struggling. Eighth grade, she was ending 8th grade, going into 9th grade. She was 15. My daughter was 14, 15 years old when we truly got out of poverty. So I was a Johnny come lately with one child. So I don't know how the fuck you guys think you're gonna make it with 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 fucking children. Stop having those fucking babies. And let me rephrase that. Stop getting pregnant. Stop getting pregnant. You are not gonna be able to make it out with these babies. The more babies you have, the more impossible it will be for you to get out. And when I'm talking about having babies in Blackistan being a fucking death sentence, I'm only talking to you right now about how impossible it gets to really get out once you have the babies. I'm not even touching on everything that I wrote in that article. And that blog. Black women, go to my blog, oceanofdaughters.com. It's a blog called Black Women. No, it's called Having a Baby in Blackistan is a Death Sentence. Go and read that blog. It just ain't it. It ain't it. It ain't it, baby sis. If you ain't got no babies and you starting to think you inside your house and inside your mother house, she's mean as shit. Your mama ain't shit, right? She's mean as shit. She's cold as shit. And you are seeking some kind of validation as a girl and as a woman. And as a blossoming woman into your womanhood. And you think that having a baby will solidify that. It will not. It makes it even harder for you. It makes it even harder for you. That was my spill on the breeding factories having to come to an end. Stop letting these men, as they say, fucking pump and dump you. They come inside my comments. And say that black women are only for pumping and dumping. These fucking ingrates. They forgot how they got here. Somebody had to pump and dump in a fucking mother for them to get here. Right? Fucking ingrates come over here and they say things like that. And I mean, and this is truly how they think of us. This is truly how they think of you. And this is why they don't really deserve you. They don't really deserve you. If you're sitting on the fence, they don't really deserve you. You know, you got one foot over the fence, and I know what it is divesting. It's for me. To be honest, in my divesting, the easiest thing was for me to give up niggas. I always knew they didn't really, they didn't really deserve me in any fucking kind of way. That was the easiest part of divestment for me. Giving up niggas. That was the light work. Because I was never a woman ruled by my sex. I've never been that kind of woman. Right? So for me, BBC was never that fucking impressive to me. I never was attracted to that kind of thing in men. I've always been attracted to fucking power. That's what fucking attracts me. Power is what attracts me. Always has been. So anyway, black women, you need to really start being able to control yourself in a sexual way. Like, you have to be able to grab some fucking control of your fucking sex. And don't let men who are fucking not worthy of you fuck you. Like, that's fucking crazy. That's fucking crazy. Buy a fucking toy. The divested content creators are always fucking advocating for buying a fucking toy. Go get you a fucking toy and fucking relax. Chill out, sis. Whatever you do, don't fuck them and get pregnant, okay? And no one can pay you. There's never going to be enough money in mothering. No matter what the incentive is that you hear about. in your city and state and country, when I'm talking about a country, like as far as federal payments, or like your city might be giving money to single moms, none of that shit is worth it. There's never enough money when it comes to mothering. There's never going to be enough mothering. It has to be, when you're mothering ahead, you have to be in the right mindset. You have to be in the right situation as far as being comfortable and being safe enough to raise your child. Like, the money is never going to be enough. Having $1,000 in Blackistan is nothing. $800 in Blackistan, like this, it's not worth it, sis. Don't do it. And that's what I got. I hope you guys that this message was here. And I hope that you guys, got it. Love you, and I'll talk to you next time.